Welcome to Orlando, Florida. This is Convention District News, where you'll get the inside scoop on all the great services offered at the Orange County Convention Center. Today's episode is about arriving and departing from the Orlando International Airport and some of the important things you should know when traveling. Joining me today is Federal Security Director John Daly. Prior to leading TSA here in Orlando, Mr. Daly served in the U.S. Coast Guard for 24 years, conducting law enforcement search and rescue operations, including 2 assignments working at the White House, where he served 2 different presidents. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Great. Now, Mr. Daly, can you tell our viewers about the TSA concierge service that you have implemented at the Orange County Convention Center?
Absolutely. Here in Orlando, our 1,200 employees in TSA are committed to 2 things. 1, providing world-class security, and 2, providing world-class customer service. And we recognize in order to do that, we have to partner with the local community, and our partnership with the Convention Center is just fantastic. One of the things we started is a concierge program, and it basically has 3 parts. We actually talk with the convention planners before they actually come to Orlando to give them some tips on how to get through security quickly that they can share with their convention goers. They can put it on their websites or put it in their material before arriving in Orlando. Once the convention starts, we actually send our officers out to the convention floor to identify items that might be prohibited from going on an aircraft so that vendors can actually share that information with their customers and clients so that they don't bring items to the airport that can't be brought on an airplane. The third thing, which is the part I'm most excited about, is that we actually set up a TSA booth in partnership with the Convention Center, where our officers are there to do outreach with the traveling public. So we have display boards that show a picture of what the checkpoints look like, identifying the expert traveler lanes for the business traveler, and kind of answer some questions that the public might have on how to get through security quickly. And sometimes we actually give away head-of-the-line cards to some of the folks that come to our table. So if anybody's at the Convention Center, they want to definitely stop by our booth.
Great, great. Kind of like an attraction.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
That's great. Now, tell me a little bit more about the different lanes. I know I heard you just say something about the expert traveler lane. Are there other things that are coming into play on this?
Orlando is so unique. We have world-class attractions here. People travel from all over America and the globe to come to Central Florida. And a lot of those are families with a lot of kids and mom and dad and grandma and grandpa who maybe never traveled before. At the same time, we have another group of folks, the professional business traveler, that are coming to the 2nd largest convention center in the nation. Well, those folks will spend a week here in Orlando and never see each other, those 2 groups. But there's one spot where they always meet, and guess where that is? At our security checkpoint, because they're all getting on the same airplane. Right. So we've taken some initiatives to try to help facilitate the travel of the traveling public. One is we have an expert business travel lane, which is a black diamond lane. And that's designed for people who travel 2 to 3 times per month. They usually travel by themselves, maybe with 1 or 2 carry-on bags, and that's it. No prohibited items, and that lane usually is a lot faster for the business travelers. So for the people that are at the convention center, they want to look for that lane. We also cater to the needs of the families, and we have a special lane just for families with strollers to give them that extra little time that they need to help get through security, recognizing that they've got a lot of things to have to get screened. So we try to tailor our support to both of those entities.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful to hear. Now, how has this helped with the customer service, the TSA level at the Convention Center?
Well, that's a great question. You know, our priority is the safety of the traveling public, but we also recognize that we need to have a high level of customer service. And I got to tell you, 3 years ago, our customer service ratings here in Orlando were not very good. 9 out of 10 of the comment cards we got from the public were negative. They were complaints, 9 out of 10. We've done a lot of work in giving our employees the tools that they need in order to improve their engagement with the flying public, and we've seen a complete turnaround. Now, 2 out of every 3 comment cards we get are positive, which is a huge turnaround. So it's, again, tremendous professionalism on our workforce's part to make sure that we focus on the customer service aspect of what we do in addition to the security aspect.
That's terrific news, definitely. Now, tell me about the prohibited list. Does that list change, or does that pretty much stay the same? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I know for a lot of travelers it tends to be frustrating to have a list of prohibited items, but we all need to recognize that the safety of the traveling public is our #1 priority, and all those items are on that list for a reason. And that list is updated based on emerging threats. And all those items on that list are prohibited from getting on board an aircraft, and the person's carry-on bag in particular, and those are the things we look for at the checkpoints. And we do look at that list periodically to ensure that it reflects all of the current threats to transportation security.
Okay. Now tell me a little bit about the new advanced imaging technology. I know that the screening process has changed a little bit in Orlando. Tell me a little bit about that and some of the features that help TSA.
So one of the things we always try to do at TSA is to get new technology to detect the emerging threats. So up till about a year and a half ago, the primary technology for screening passengers was a walk-through metal detector. It's a 1970s technology looking for a 1970s threat. Back then, hijacking was a concern. So guns and knives, metal items were a concern. Well, the threat today are explosives. And the advanced imaging technology machines allow us to detect non-metallic threats. So it's a tremendous improvement to security here in Orlando to have those machines here. So we're excited to have them here and actually deployed at both of our checkpoints.
That's wonderful. That's great. Now, are there any additional partnerships that TSA has established with the local community that you would like to share with us today?
Absolutely. We've got some great initiatives going on in the community. One is with Give Kids the World. Give Kids the World actually services the needs of families that have children with terminal illnesses to give them an experience here in Orlando at the world-class attractions. One of the things that we do is our officers actually meet those families as they're departing to go back home. We'll meet them at the curbside, and actually help facilitate them through the screening process, because it can be a lot of challenges for a family with a child in a wheelchair and a lot of medical devices. So we'll actually meet them at the curb, escort them through the whole process, and take them out to the gate to make it as stress-free as possible for them. So we're excited about that partnership. Last year we helped over 650 families get through our checkpoints with children with terminal illnesses.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We also give those folks additional training. So we actually have persons with disability lanes, specifically folks that need some extra attention, folks in wheelchairs and are not as mobile as other folks. So pretty exciting time for us as we continue to add value throughout the entire transportation system.
That is very impressive. I'm sure that really gives a lot of comfort to all of our travelers in Orlando and the convention center to know that there's that level of security going on, you know, for their best interest.
And again, our priority is the safety of the traveling public and the security of the transportation system. So it's always paramount for us.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us, John.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Great.
Appreciate it.
As you can see, the Orange County Convention Center has the services you need to make your convention a success. If you have additional questions on this episode, please feel free to visit the press section of the Orange County Convention Center's website. Thank you for joining us today.
If you would like more information on the program you've just seen, please contact the Sales and Marketing team toll-free at 1-800-345-9845 or email them at marketing@occc.net. Welcome to the Center of Hospitality, the Orange County Convention Center.